Okay, firing up another rapid game against EPH Chinake Savula. Alright, I'm going to be an Alapin. I'm going to try to keep up the pace of this video, because that so far has been kind of my major failing. Alright, and so we potentially get an IQP position. Should white capture on c5. So rook e1, bishop e6, knight g5. I'll just castle to give him that pawn for activity. Let's see if he wants to take it. Knight g5, I'll just castle. Okay, so he does go into the IQP, or the isolated queen's pawn position, which is pretty dynamically imbalanced. I do take on a bit of a weakness on d5, but it can also be a strength, controlling the center of the board and giving me some active potential. So now I'm threatening some tricks on f2. Yeah, for example, if like bishop e5, I can just go ahead and take on b2. I can play knight g5, hitting these two squares. So bishop g5, maybe queen b6, takes on f6, take on f2. Knight g5, just castles. This is probably the first game in this series where I've actually been up on the clock. This is a very proud moment. Okay, so how's he going to deal with this? Knight bd2, probably knight g5 there, play with some energy before he has a chance to put the knight on b3. So what white would really like to do is to take a few of the minor pieces and to plant a piece on this outpost on d4. Probably a knight. Okay, so knight g5. Do I start with queen b6 or do I just castle? I don't think bishop f2 works yet. Queen b6 here. Now let's just castle. Yeah, I'm happy to give him this pawn if he wants it. Takes, rook takes, and there, knight, well, no. Maybe I can just sack on f2. Because whenever he takes, if he takes on e6, he's opening up my rook on the f-file, which will be pretty dangerous with 3 pieces bearing down on that square. So takes, rook takes, bishop f2, king takes, knight e4, or maybe knight g4 check, king g2, queen h4. Let's see if he wants to take this. Maybe he senses the danger here. There aren't any Greek gift sacrifices working on h7 because my knight defends. Okay, so he's got some minor problems to solve. I just have a very active position. All my minor pieces are in play, whereas white still has some congestion on his first rank. Okay. Still keeping up on the clock. And now, how does he deal with bishop f2? First of all, does that work? If it were my move here, if bishop takes f2, king takes f2, knight g4 double check, king g1, queen h4. I'm not sure I see a defense there. Maybe h3. Oh, rook takes. Okay. So this feels dangerous to me. Bishop f2, king takes. Let's say knight g4. That's a double check. Can the king run to the e-file? Let's calculate here. Feels dangerous. I can always just play like queen d7, rook e8, stuff like that. Queen d7, bishop, no. Takes, king takes. Say knight g4, king comes back this way, queen h4, h3, queen check, king here. I very nearly have some nasty smothered mates. No, that doesn't work. Let's take some time here. Just feels like there should be a tactic. Well, takes, queen b6, bishop here, knight check. Takes, queen check, king e1, rook blocks. Maybe it doesn't work. I really want to make it work, but maybe it just doesn't work. Takes, knight here. Let's say king e1, check, g3 takes, queen, the knight hangs. You know what? Just to preserve my time edge and be a little more practical, I'm just going to play move, hit his rook, maybe prepare to bring the other rook into the center. It's a practical decision because I didn't want to get too down the clock on just that one move, and all my threats remain. Maybe in this case, the threat is stronger than the execution, as I think Nimzowitsch said. Maybe that was Nimzowitsch, or maybe I'm misremembering. So another perk of this move is, should the rook move, then I can play knight g4 and my queen defends it. So he probably wants to keep the rook here for as long as he can. But if like queen e2, I can... Wait, maybe I can't. Let's say queen e2. Bishop here. But here I thought I had check. Oh no, I don't have that. I thought I had check and knight here. But the queen can take. So takes, knight e4. Rook takes, I can take on f5. Rook blocks. Pretty surprising. What about knight here straight away? That seems pretty good. I don't think he has any discoveries with the rook. So let's say knight e4. I don't think takes on h2 does anything. No, it should be fine there. So knight e4. If he just defends, say knight e4, queen here, maybe I can even just take that, honestly. And knight e4, bishop takes, I can take the rook. Oh, he takes here. Ooh. Ooh, tricky. Here, bishop takes. What if I take on f2? There's got to be something here. If I take here, you can also just shuffle away with the king. So here, bishop takes, queen takes, bishop takes here. If I take here, check, counter check, king here, and I have nothing. So here, bishop takes. Maybe I take with a rook away. I need to just make this decision. I need to just make the move and see what happens, because I cannot, again, fall victim of expending all my clock trying to calculate precisely, finding the win, and then not having time to convert. So I just have to trust my intuition here and hope something happens. I just think if takes, I'm going to take here with a rook, I think. Maybe that's a problem. Takes, take with a rook, king here, takes, bishop takes. Actually, worst case, I can check and then take this bishop. So what the heck is going on here? Takes. No. Okay. So I was going to take here. Let's do it. I'm expecting king h1, and then I have to decide if I can get away with taking the rook or not. Maybe like I can insert rook f8, threatening a mate. If takes, I think I have check, and then that severs a connection of the queen and the bishop. Takes, check, rook blocks, check, but I can take here, probably with the queen. Or have to take with the rook if he does that. I'm probably miscalculating here. It just feels like I'm miscalculating. Let's say king h1. Oh, you know what? King h1 I can just take here, I think, because he can't take the queen because of mate. Yeah, that's nasty. So here, if rook takes, I take the queen mate. Here, queen takes mate. Yeah, so the back rank is the issue here. Let's just make sure. So it'll be equal material there, but I'm not sure how he defends both his rook and his queen. So I take the bishop, he takes my queen mate, I take the bishop. I don't see any other checks. Take the bishop, queen b3. I have back rank mate on f1. Yeah, let's do it. So hitting his queen and hitting his rook now, which is now, it now can be taken without worrying about pins on this diagonal. Yeah, I think he has too many tactical problems. Because this rook on e6 is actually a tactical liability, and I have all my pieces in play except for this rook, whereas white has failed to develop all of his minor pieces on the queen side. So I think that's gonna. Okay, well, that was actually pretty fascinating, pretty sharp position there in the middle game. I felt like I must have had several wins before that point, but let's see. Let's see what the engine thinks. Yeah, so at some point I definitely missed a win. I just didn't have time, or I made the practical decision of just of playing something um, reasonable, like a logical move that just maintained the pressure instead of trying to find the concrete win. So 94, the engine's saying, wins directly. So I was looking at takes, and if king takes, I was looking at knight g4, and I guess the problem is, so I was looking at this, h3, okay, I did not see knight c to e5. That's surprisingly strong, wow. And if takes, I just take back with the knight, and now these three pieces will deliver mate. Or he just has to give up a load of material back to stop the mate. Yeah, too many threats. This is mate, also threatening this. In some cases, this and this. Okay, so I just did not see this move, just reinforcing the knight. It's a really nice motif. Okay, so we had an IQP out of an Alapin, which I kind of enjoy these positions. Black is often willing to assume slight strategic risk in order to develop a little bit of an initiative or an attack. Here, knight g5. A lot of people play this way, just not realizing that they're not. I mean, that winning a pawn is just really not worth the time they're giving away. Here, knight g5, just castles is reasonable. I was wondering about queen b6, but yeah, probably just blocks things up, and then he can take later on. So castles must be correct. And now he just opens up the F file, and that all of a sudden he has to be very careful. Rook takes is not careful. Yeah, so how does this pan out? If knight e4, let's take a look with human eyes first. Knight e4, if he takes, do I take back? Maybe I just, I wonder if I insert this or I insert this. But I'm curious, if I just take back, let's say takes, yeah, I don't know. I think probably I take here, and I'm threatening to both win a piece and crash through on f2. So if I just recapture here, I think the engine's going to say it's just completely winning here, given that like his back rank is such a huge glaring issue. Like I don't even have to take on f2 straight away. Is that right? Just taking back? Yeah, okay. Just taking the bishop. So knight e4 with the idea of just getting rid of his only active minor piece and then opening up some file storage as king. I like it. But queen d7, honestly, I'm happy with that decision in practical terms. I just need to teach myself to do a better job of that in these rapid games. Playing the practical move instead of the precise move. And using the time later to calculate. Takes, rook takes. Okay, so this is just a slightly imprecise move order, but that's okay. It's a sacrifice I was willing to make. Bishop e6. What does this do? If I just takes, king takes, check, or just take back? Ah, interesting. And now I have to deal with this hanging rook. Huh. That's an interesting resource. Yeah, but now I just take and the back rank is too powerful. Okay. I think that was a miniature, right? How many moves was that? 15, yeah, 15 moves. Happy with that game. Good game to EPHS Chenegsalvula. All right, thanks for watching.